welcome to April's Plant Powered Conversations That Sprout Ethical Change. I'm Brianna and I'm here with my friend Johanna.
Hi.
And we are so excited to dive into a vegan sales page with you today. But before we get into the nitty-gritty of that, give all of our tips and tricks and what we would change, what we would keep, you don't want to miss it. Before we get there, though, we want to spend a minute and celebrate with you guys because April marks 1 year of us showing up on video for you, giving marketing tips, talking about the vegan movement, and we are just so freaking excited. When we first started this thing, we were like, all right, how do we show up on camera more? How do we get used to it? How do we show up in the movement more? Because we want to be out there supporting the movement, the businesses, the nonprofits, everything that we love and believe in. And so we started this series to get more comfortable on social media, to get more comfortable on video so that we could make that impact. And it's thanks to you, your support, your comments, everything that we've continued and we've made it to a year. So first, just want to celebrate this with you. Thank you for being there. And we have some exciting things coming in the future. So this is also a really big point of reflection for us. One of those pieces, if you will, of giving back to the movement and supporting the movement is sharing everything that we've gone through, reflecting on our experience so that we can make it a little easier, or give a little bit of support for the next person that wants to try something like this. So Johanna and I at the top of this just wanted to think back on one of those biggest changes that we've seen in ourselves in the past year and the movement, and how we've been able to support it and even give some advice, some behind the scenes, some transparency for you guys. Johanna, does anything come to mind right off the bat that you want to share?
Wow. Well, first of all, thank you for this amazing introduction. And thank you so much on my behalf as well to everybody who's listened and watched us and commented and everything. It's been really amazing to share this journey with you. And yeah, wow. I'm not sure I when we started that I really believed that we would make it until one year. And I'm
Yeah.
just really, really like proud of us and proud of myself for showing up because this is not easy. Like it doesn't come natural to me to be on camera and talk and in English too, even though like I am totally comfortable in English, but I think the main thing I want to say is that, I mean, it's a bit cheesy, but like if this inspires anybody else to like put themselves out there who's like introverted, but like really you want to make a like positive change with your work, but you feel like shy and uncomfortable and everything. So if I can do it, like you can do it as well. It gets easier. Yeah, that's what I had
I
over the top of
totally
my head.
agree.
I have more to say, but I'll give you the floor now.
Yeah. Well, I totally agree with that. It's one of those muscles that you just have to exercise. You just have to do it. And I think one of the things that you've said right before we go on and we press record that really has resonated with me is, imperfect action. Like let's just do it. And to be completely transparent with everyone watching, we are nervous for this episode. A sales page is a massive asset, and it's really important, right? That's how your business gets support. That's how you speak to your audience and you get those raving fans on your side. And so we have so much to say, and we were really nervous about how to convey it in the best way possible. And so before this, Johanna just goes, let's take imperfect action. And she said that so many times before recordings throughout this that I think it just speaks to a larger theme that if you have anything like this or a different project that you're nervous to start because you're worried about how it will be received, just start. Just start
Yeah.
and take that imperfect action because you won't regret it. You'll look back a year later like we are now and say, wow, I can't believe that this has happened.
Yeah.
So let's start.
Yeah, totally. Like, and I know it's not easy, at least for some of you. Like I know you want to have it perfect and figured out and know exactly, what to say and everything. But like when I think about the times when I've actually made them feel like I've grown the most or made most progress. It is like when I put myself out there like super uncomfortable and do it anyways, because I have years of experience of procrastinating. Like I'm talking like years of not doing things because I feel like I wasn't ready. You're never gonna be. So just do it anyways.
Gosh, isn't that relatable? Don't we all have years of practice of procrastinating? I feel like, especially as entrepreneurs, we have idea after idea after idea, and how many ideas just get put on the to-do list of like, oh, I'll come back to that. I'll research that later, and they get dusty and we never see them again, right?
Yeah.
So relatable. I'm glad you shared that. Um, when I think back to who I was a year ago, I remember because we're both in a high level coaching program for copywriters. And part of that is building our own business and being visible so potential clients can find us. And part of that is showing up on social media and showing our faces. And I was so worried transitioning from law, which is a very like buttoned up profession, where you have a very groomed appearance online, to here's my cell phone in front of my face. And I'm like, hey guys, what's up? You know, that was bizarre to me. And so over this year, I'm showing up with you and talking to people about things we're passionate about has really helped me find that comfort level and that middle ground of it doesn't have to be buttoned up and I don't have to be doing TikTok dances. I can find where I fit. And so that has been like a really a big growing point for me as part of this process, for sure.
Yeah, wow, I love that. And like so many things are coming to me now as you're talking, and we're talking, and I'm realizing I think we need to make another episode
Yeah,
also,
let's do it.
like about our limiting beliefs and whatever, like
Yeah.
coming obstacles. But related to that, what you just said, like what's been really hard for me is like coming from this activist background where it's like nobody, or me at least, didn't really want to show up with our like faces and personalities, because it was so much about the movement, about the animals, like the mission, and you know, kind of putting yourself to the background. And but so it's been like super like uncomfortable, like showing
Yeah.
up on social media. And but I think that's just how the world works. Well, I mean, my voice and like story deserves to be told just as much as anybody else's. But I think it's so important for the movement also, because we like humans relate to other humans and their stories. So yeah, if there's
Absolutely.
anybody else out there who struggles with that, like for me the angle of still keeping the focus on the movement and the animals, and that your story is kind of like a tool in that, while you also have value as a human. But it's
Yes.
me.
I love that. And that reminds me of one of my favorite quotes from the sales coach in our mastermind, Renata D'Amello. She mentioned on one of her coaching calls with us this thing that I will never forget because it's been my driving force for showing up like this, is she gave us permission to be inspired by people that are out there, but then also to let people be inspired by us. Because I was at the time having this huge block around my business growing and hitting goals that I never thought were possible, specifically around finances. I was having my first 10K month, and she told me to post it on social media. And to me, finances were like, you don't talk about that. Like, you don't share how much money you make. Like, no, thank you. And so she shared that. She's like, let people be inspired by you. You're inspired by people that are out there talking about their 10K months. Why can't you be one of those people that inspires people too?
Yeah, well,
Yeah. And so
that's
there
massive.
is a space for your voice. There's a space for all of our voices. And so if you are also, anyone watching this, experiencing that block of like, I don't have anything unique to say, like it's already being said out there, you do. Your voice matters and your story matters. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, and it can be that you're exactly the one person who says something in
Yeah.
a way, or your story is like the most relatable to somebody, because it's not, you know, we everybody has their own unique angle to everything. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. But like you said, we could go on about this
Yeah.
all day. If you guys like this type of transparent, like just free thought content, please let us know. Um, as I mentioned, we are kind of considering how we want to grow this effort, Plant Powered, and what it could be beyond that, how we can further support you guys. One of those angles being turning these videos into podcasts so you can listen to them a little easier while you're on the go, and we can reach more people and help more people. Because that's the goal of this whole thing, is we want to help as many people as we can in this space. So yeah, please let us know if you like this free thinking content. If you want to see more behind the scenes, you want more advice from us about how we're feeling. Because so much of social media can be polished still, even when people are trying to be transparent or, showing a day in the life. It's still kind of, groomed and buttoned up a little bit, right? So if you want to hear more about what we're going through and advice we have, please let us know. We're happy to do that. But I like your idea, Johanna. I think we might need a whole episode to just break down the behind the scenes of Plant Powered and how it's grown.
Cool.
So then changing tracks a little bit, we have an awesome sales page for you guys. Johanna's gonna share her screen so you can look at it with us. Just to intro the sales page a little bit while she does, one thing that's a little unique about the approach that this person took here is that it's also the homepage of her business. So our feedback is going to have that in mind. And at the end, we'll have some feedback for how you could do things a little differently if you want a standalone sales page versus one that functions as the homepage of your business too. There's no right way to do it. It's just what works for you and how you want to organize it, what you want to include on it. So we're going to go through most of her sales page here, talk about what she
You can see the page now, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I can. Yes, thank you so much. So Johanna's going to scroll through as we go, and we're going to talk about different sections, what she did really well here, some changes that we might make from an organizational level so that it flows with how your audience is experiencing your brand, depending on their awareness level. And then just some tips and tricks if you're just starting out and you're looking at a blank Word document right now. How would you create a sales page from scratch with this as inspiration? So first things first, we have the header here, Johanna, and we're looking at a headline that just tells us what it is, and it has a button to join now. Some things that came up for me, and I'd love to hear your feedback too, Johanna. As we get into what she did really well, I love that she has this here because it is her homepage, right? And that she has that join button at the top for those eager beavers that are like, yes, I know I need this. They don't have to scroll anywhere. But one thing I want people to keep in mind if they are creating a separate sales page is that you do want to speak to your audience right off the bat. This above the fold section takes up the whole screen, right? And so I don't know what Vegan Business School is. I don't know if I want to join. I don't know if it's for me. So if you are thinking about creating this, I might consider even a subheader that
Yeah.
lets me know, hey, it is for me. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. And to be honest, like I didn't even like pay too much attention on the main header here. I was thinking, yeah, along the same lines. But then I was like kind of thinking how I would improve this. Like I love the do you dream of your own
Yeah.
vegan business, kind of like as the, I mean, if I was writing a sales page, this might be a part of the headline, but also on a homepage, I think this could be like the headline. It already like speaks to the reader more
Yeah.
directly. It could be like the rhetorical question kind of before, and then the main headline could be something about the like ultimate benefit you offer or the like USP of your product. But yeah, I mean, it is very, very clear, and I think it works.
Awesome. And I'm so glad you brought that up, that question, right? So when you are thinking of hooks that you want to use for your different headlines, questions like this are a great way to get that attention and be like, Yeah, I do. And you get that yes, right? That subliminal yes in someone's brain that's like, yeah, I do dream about this. I'm going to keep reading. The more yeses that you get from questions or, hey, that does feel like me if it's a statement, the more engaged they are. So I think I also agree that that's something she did really well throughout her sales page. A lot of the copy here speaks to her audience member. Um, if we scroll down a little bit, Johanna, I want to show, like, she asks a lot of those questions, yeah, throughout here. And she later on in her sales page too, she has a great story section that really speaks to letting you dream about
Yeah,
what this could be, right?
should I?
Um,
Okay.
yeah. Do you want to find that section here? So we can show them. And we are going to be jumping around a little bit. Sorry, guys. I hope you don't
Yeah.
get sick as we do, because part
Yeah,
of what,
here it is. Yeah.
yeah. So how would you feel if this was not only a dream, but you lived your life on your own terms? So again, she's asking those questions, but it's future pacing.
Yeah.
Um, and it's allowing the reader to picture themselves here. And so that can be a really strong way to start off a sales page. You haven't
Yeah.
mentioned, she does mention the product before this, but in a lot of sales pages, you want to spend time indoctrinating and bringing people into the fold to really, oh, build that desire. Yeah, I could picture myself like this. I get those yeses. Like, I do want a plant-based lifestyle with my business. Like, I want to be able to promote that. And um, so I think it's something that she did really well throughout. Just might organize it differently if I was starting on my own. What do you think, Johanna?
Yeah, literally I had the same ideas. Like I love this future pacing storytelling concept where you kind of paint the picture of the dream future, like that your product or like the transformation that you can offer. And I might also, if I was starting from scratch, I might start the sales page with this. And I think this is a great start. I was like throughout a lot of kind of like the feedback I have, and I know this is hard for almost everybody who's writing copy, is to make your copy specific, like very like specific scenarios, like relatable, like this kind of everyday situations that might happen. So here, for example, this you unlocked your full potential to create a better world. It's a bit general, like I like the emotion and the idea is there, but kind of like how to make this copy like from good to bring it from good to great. I might dig a little deeper in all of these, or at least some of them. Does that make sense? What I'm saying?
Yeah. Speaking to what you're saying, Johanna, I really liked this section, and honestly, I might like to see it higher, because it lets people know, like, oh, she is for me. She gets where I'm at. Because the first line here, I know exactly how you feel. And you're immediately telling them that you've been there. Like, launching your own business is an adventure and can feel like a roller coaster. And when you use copy like that, that lets people picture it, they're like, oh, it really does. And they can feel that in their bones, like, because
Yeah.
they've gone through it, and it shows that you understand the pains that they're experiencing. So leading with something like this and can really build that desire to keep scrolling and like, oh, how are you going to fix it for me? Like, sounds like you know exactly what I'm going through. I want to know more.
Yeah, I agree. And actually, this was one of my favorite parts as well. And I wanted to highlight this this kind of roller coaster ride comparison. On the ride, sometimes you feel like you are on top of the world, the wind rushing through your hair, the blood pumping through your veins. It's really specific and like
Yeah.
and relatable. So more of this.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. She did a fantastic job here. I just really want to commend her for what
Yeah.
you're saying about specificity, and like she's painting a vision in the reader's mind so that they're really with her on this journey. And they're so she is building that desire too, subliminally along the way. The more you can create that relatable experience that she's done so well here, the better.
Okay, and here we have the kind of benefit section. So what you can expect after attending the vegan business school, and you will feel. And I love that it's the word feel, because good copy is emotional and kind of, yeah, speaks to those desires. And I think, again, this is a really great start here. But I would invite to dig again a little bit deeper, because, for example, the first one here, you will feel proud of what you have achieved in only a few months. Like it's good, but it kind of, I think, begs the question, like, so what? Like, how does it relate to, you know, your mission, like that you want to help animals and start the business that maybe you've been like dreaming of for like years, or maybe you've been trying to launch by yourself for months, or so kind of, I know that with these benefits, and I mean with good copy in general, like you need to know your ideal client, or the person you're talking to, as well as possible, so that you get these believable scenarios. But this is a great start. The second feedback I wanted to say about this is that, so if I scroll a little bit, it comes quite early on the sales page. So it's like the kind of like third section. So I think when you think about the flow, and that you kind of take your reader on a journey throughout your sales page, it might work better when it's a bit later on the page. And a little like I think, yeah.
No, I agree. I totally agree. And if you want to scroll down, there's
Yeah.
a blue drop down area, Johanna, that I think relates really well to this and what you're saying about it coming a little too early, about it needing a little
Yeah.
bit more. Yeah, because here she starts to get into that. It's hard to start a business as a lonesome ranger. Like that's where we start to get the emotion that we lacked above. And this section falls a little bit better in like the flow, in my opinion.
I'll just
And
click
she's
on something. Sorry to.
oh, no, you're good. Yeah, go ahead and click on some of them. Yeah, because maybe you don't know yet if your idea could turn into a business. You're speaking to that audience and what they're going through in this section that could really inform those bennies that you're talking about above, like those benefits of the program and why we care. Like, do you agree?
Yeah, totally.
And as we're talking about benefits too of the program and what like emotionally how this will help you from where you are to where you're going, one thing I thought was super strong was the USP here. So the unique selling proposition. What makes Vegan Business School different? Super succinct, super impactful. I thought she did this really well. The Vegan Business School helps you overcome limiting beliefs and build the vegan business of your dreams. Boom. I know exactly what it is. I feel empowered by it. So I just thought this was a standout USP statement, and I wanted to give kudos.
Yeah, agreed.
Awesome. And then one thing as we start to flow into talking about the offer, if you'll find a CTA for me, Johanna, CTAs are those calls to action. Yeah, so the buttons. She has so many buttons throughout, and they start quite early in the sales page here. That's one thing we usually recommend against, specifically for the advice that we've already given so far, is you want to spend time making them feel comfortable, building that trust, letting them know that you've got them and you understand them. And so you're not going to ask for the sale usually that early until you've built that credibility with your audience. Again, she could have a very warm audience. She has a button right at the top, so she very well might. And that could be one of the differences with this being a homepage versus just a standalone sales page as well. But I did want to flag that usually we want to wait until we introduce the offer and we've spent time building that trust with the audience before we let them have an opportunity to buy. You can still have that CTA at the top, absolutely, if you think that you have super warm leads that are going to want that. But I would wait to introduce this until a little later, until we get into the offer. And I know we want to talk about that now, right?
Yeah. Can I say a couple of things about the section before it? Something just
Oh,
like
please. Yeah, so
occurred to
sorry.
me.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, before the offer. So there's the who is the vegan business school for? I like this section. Like generally, I really, it's a, you know, personal preference, I guess, but I love this. This is for you. This isn't for you, because I feel like it really like helps me
Yes.
understand, like, is it for me? So I think this is great that it's here. Like one tip to improve would be, I feel like this could be a great place to include some, like, kind of acknowledging the pain that the reader might be going through, or what the other solutions they might have already like tried, like whether it's, you know, procrastinating, or maybe they've already tried like another course, or tried doing it alone. So I mean, there are quite a few points already, but here or somewhere else, I would have loved to see more of this, because it helps the reader again feel like, okay, you really get it. Like, you know, that I've been, you know, trying to do this, or like I've tried other solutions, and they're just like, I'm still here. So it's about like
Yeah.
making the reader feel seen.
I'm so glad that you paused us here and you brought that up, because that flows perfectly into talking about the offer too, because what you're speaking to is that value proposition, right? And so you make them feel seen, you know that they know they're in the right place. Um, it builds that safety, that trust that we've been talking about throughout the sales page. But then also, as you get to the offer, it's an opportunity to say, you might have tried this, or you could have tried trying to do this for a year, or maybe it's sat on your to-do list and it's never gotten time or attention, right?
Yeah.
Even if you don't want to include prices, which she doesn't here, you can still build that value proposition so people know how valuable this is by time, or them spending money on other options, even if you don't disclose your own pricing. You can compare, like, if you do a different membership, or hire a contractor, or whatever it is, what those expenses would look like. Or you can work with me and we can get it all done in 6 months.
Yeah.
4 months here.
Yeah.
Um, so I just want to echo, I thought that was a great point about the value proposition and spending time on not only reminding them that they are in the right place, but that they're here for a reason, and that you can really accelerate their growth and their success. Which leads great into the offer here. So I thought she did this really well, particularly this section. Again, right below this is that blue section that we looked at already that had more of those benefits. So that was a little bit of a reorganization, I think, that we were talking about here, that we would talk about the benefits before we built in the offer. But the Vegan Business School offers a 4-month intensive program, maximum 6 people. So you get personalized, supportive learning. You have access to her, direct access for your questions. It all tells me exactly what it is. If anything, I might spend more time on those left brain things.
Yeah.
Make it very clear. After I read this, I was like, okay, I kind of get it.
Yeah.
But if I've never done a coaching program before, I don't know what to expect after I press yes. Like, yes,
Yeah.
I want this. So you could spend a little bit more time with what we call risk reversal. So risk reversal, it kind of encompasses any questions that might have come up from the copy that's here. Any questions that your reader is going to be like, I don't really, what's intensive mean? That sounds a little scary. Or is it always 6 people maximum? Are you already booked out? Is there room for me? Short talks. How long are the short talks? I'm a busy entrepreneur. I don't know if I have time for even a short talk. Those sorts of questions that come up, you can always include an FAQ at the bottom, but there's still an opportunity here to spend a little time providing those left brain details and answers to really get at that risk reversal.
Yeah. Yeah, again, I couldn't agree more. Like I literally had, when I was reading this, like many of the questions that you just said, like I'm like, okay, so what it's like 4 months, and every week there's a call. Is there like a theme to every week? Like, what does it mean that I have direct access to you? Like, how do the group members support each other? There's like an accountability body. Does it mean like a Facebook group? So like people make purchases like based on different criteria. There are some people like me, I want to know like everything. And like some people are faster, but yeah, like a confused mind might not buy. And I think there's also the benefits if you are as clear as possible, especially on this page, since there's not a chance to buy it right now, but you like you're asked to do like a discovery call. I think you're going to get more like qualified leads, so to say, if you share as much information as possible. Like not everybody might read it, but at least you give them the chance, and then you're not going to be spending your time talking with like people who are not the right fit. Like yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And also, this risk reversal type section could include if you have a guarantee.
Yeah.
So you talk about next steps, you talk about what to expect in the program. Like once they click, excuse me, once they click to book a call with you, when are you going to reach out? How long is it going to take? How long is that call that we're going to have? Again, any clarity that you can provide them will make sure that you're getting those qualified leads, but will also make them feel stronger about investing with you because you've made them feel safe. They know exactly what to expect. That's all people want. They just want to feel safe.
Yeah.
So this is your opportunity to do that.
Yeah, we all just want to feel seen and heard and valued. It's really
Yeah,
um,
so true. One thing that Johanna and I both love to see when we're working with clients for marketing are testimonials. So one thing you can do if you're building your sales page out and it's not going to be your home page, like this is very common to see on a homepage that there's one block of testimonials. But in a sales page format, Johanna and I both recommend usually, and I'll let her speak, of course, to sprinkle them in and have them speak to different things and really create that safety feeling of having seen other people that have gone through this and received results that the reader is looking for, even from higher up in the sales page. So if this was a standalone sales page, of course, it's a creative choice. You're welcome to put the testimonials wherever you'd like, but we usually recommend that you have a few throughout so people feel supported from other people and not just, oh, should I trust this person just based on her own voice, but they can look at the reviews of people that have already worked with you.
yeah. Yeah, totally. And I mean, I don't know if there's such a thing as too many testimonials. Probably there's some amount, but I've seen like, lots. So depending on how many you have, you don't need to be afraid to use them. And you can also, if you really want to like optimize it, kind of look at the themes of the testimonials. Like some might fit better like right after you introduce the product, and some might fit closer to where you're talking about the price. Like for example, if somebody thinks that like, oh my God, the value of this thing was incredible. So but yeah, but whatever testimonials you have, it's good. And also we talk about this in some cases. You can also use this kind of like more like character testimonials that talk about you in like what kind of a coach you are. For example, in general, maybe you're launching a new course and you haven't had students for that yet, but you've done like coaching before, or so maybe also
Yes, that's a great point. That's a great point, especially for someone that's building a new sales page. Let's say this is your first offer. You're a coach, this is your first offer. You've only done one-on-one coaching from here, and now you're starting a program or something like that. If you have testimonials, if you have case studies from those clients that you've already worked with, but you don't have any for the program that you've built, you can still use those as social proof for who you are, as Johanna just said. So don't feel like, oh, this is my first offer or this is my first product. No one's tried it. Like I can't put any testimonials out there. As long as they're ethically sourced, they are about you. That is a client that you worked with. You can still use them creatively throughout your sales page.
Yeah,
And I
we
know
have.
she has a bio down here too that I
Yeah.
wanted to get to, because usually, again, we would recommend putting this higher up. Even on a homepage, I would love to see this
Mm,
higher up, because
yeah.
it seems like she's the face of the company given her
Yeah.
picture at the top, but we had to wait till the very bottom of the homepage to see who she is.
Yeah.
Again,
Even
this
after
might
the
speak to her
newsletter.
audience. Yeah, yeah. Even after the newsletter, exactly. And she might have a very aware audience that already knows her, so she doesn't
Yeah.
feel like she has to introduce herself. But I'd love to see this higher.
Yeah.
And yeah, that especially above the newsletter bar, right?
Yeah, yeah, totally. It's like this is my new favorite kind of saying, but like you are the secret sauce. Like you're the
Yes.
you're the real deal. Like people buy from you. Like a big reason is you, like your personality, your story. We've talked about the, importance of your like story in this series, I think, before. It's really powerful. So yeah, definitely put this higher. Mm.
Yes, absolutely. And if you're wondering, okay, but then how do I sign off a sales page? If it's not like one more kick of this is who I am and you should buy from me, then what is it? So usually it would be some sort of recap. Like we've taken them
Mm.
through a whole story of, I get you, you're in the right place, I can help you, you have a dream, I'm going to help you get there. And of course, we're talking about a service here, but I think it could work for products similarly, right? People have a pain and your product fixes it. You're still taking them on that arc, right? So once you've taken them through the arc and you've said, here's the offer, here's the product, here's the service, this is what's going to happen. You've already told them who you are, everything. That's a lot of information. And so people are going to be like, okay, I've gotten it all, but how do I sign up again? Where do I buy? What's the offer again? And especially if you're running a promo or you have any sort of scarcity, like there's only 6 spots in her 4-month cohorts. So maybe she's got 1 spot left, so you want to recap all of that for them. So
Yeah.
this is what you get. This is what the price is if you want to have pricing on there. If not, this is the value proposition. Remind them of that. What's the scarcity, if there is any, all of that. Just recap it for them and have another opportunity for that CTA at the bottom. This is where having multiple CTAs can really come in handy. You have one when you first introduce the offer, you have one at the bottom when you recap the offer, so they don't have to scroll back up and get confused again. We want to make it easy for them. We're recapping them where they are, and we're saying, hey, you can buy right here.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. And I was thinking as I was going through this that I think I would love to, I think like an FAQ section would work well on a sales page like this, because there's a lot of, or I at least got the feeling that there's a lot of moving parts. So that's kind of your chance to address any kind of lingering questions or like maybe objections your like ideal reader might have in mind. And yeah, that's one idea that came to my mind. And then, but always remember to end with a CTA, so that it's the call to action button on your sales page.
Awesome. Yeah, totally agree. So we covered quite a bit. Feel free to go back and watch and let us know if you have any questions. Or if you're building a sales page of your own product or service and you'd like some feedback, please let us know. We are here to support you guys. This whole initiative, as we mentioned at the top, is just to give back to a movement that we absolutely love. So please, please, please reach out and let us know if you have any questions or are in need of support. Johanna and I are happy to help.
Yeah.
And if you have ideas for a future episode, if you want to be a guest on one of our episodes, we are still happy to interview people. We are still happy to review your copy on an episode, whatever it is. So we want this to be a community experience, and you guys are our community. So help us make this what you want it to be. Until next time, and I think actually in May we have another guest. So a little teaser for
Yeah.
another interview. But till then, we'll see ya on the flip side. Bye,
Thanks.
guys.
Bye.